Hi, I'm Amy Sikarskie, author and energy therapist, and you're watching P3 on Rise Above TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rise Above TV, where we are empowering humanity and supporting unity. You're watching P3, the place where we feature individuals who've tapped into their power, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Janie Terrazas, and today I am very grateful and super thrilled to have the lovely Amy Sikarskie. She's an author, an energy therapist. She's an all-around amazing human being with a ton of talents. She used to be a nurse. Her story is incredible, and she's definitely somebody who is living out her P3, and she's also a mentor of mine. Thank you so much, Amy, for being with us today.
You are welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay! It's been so long since I've seen you. I'm really excited to hear your take on the words power, passion, and purpose, and any of the self-care practices, and just you getting a chance to share your story, because I feel like everybody has a powerful story and we can all be an inspiration to others. And you really have taken your time, energy, and attention, I call it your tea, and are using it in a way to uplift humanity and help them tap into their authentic selves, which is something that you helped me with. And we'll talk more about that here later. So where would you like to start?
Wow, there's so much to say and so much to share. And first of all, thank you so much for having me here. This is wonderful and connecting again. So I feel like the power, the passion, the purpose of life, we're instinctively born with it. And sometimes it gets forgotten, or there's an overlay of projection from humanity and society, the programming, school systems, parents, and all of this. So it's a piece that you try to remember, but you don't really understand that as a child, potentially. There's an aspect that maybe you would not understand a bigger purpose for being here, because it can be very much centered on what do you want to do when you grow up. It's a really, strong and ingrained aspect of childhood and going to school and all of this. And actually, the work that I do now was not one of those career fields that they would even bring up in school. So
Definitely.
all of yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, intuitive healer.
Probably not. So, I found like when I was in school, I was really interested in art and photography, and I was interested in health. So I took a lot of health classes and was a part of the health clubs. And, it all had an aspect of what I do now. So there was some understanding, but that pressure to fit into a mold was very overshadowing. And I had a lot of experiences. I think we all have experiences, but looking back, I had quite a few experiences where I would have to stand up for who I knew I was, or my beliefs, my thoughts on things that went against my community and the society, my peers. So I was raised in a very religious community. And some of the
Mm.
stuff I just did not agree with. It just did not sit right with me. And so, even in my childhood and as a teenager, finding my truth and who I was, and that helped this fire, grow within, and it helped my heart strengthen, my heart chakra, and my aura just got really strong. And I think that when we're set in these experiences, when we have these experiences and these moments where you could call it, there's a little diversity or contrasting energy where you're pushed or forced to really be you, or you just succumb to whatever and whoever the world wants you to be.
Yeah, it's like
And
conforming. Yeah,
yes,
conforming. Yep.
yes, conforming. And I'm like, that's just not me. So, as a child, you kind of tiptoe because you can't, you're in the system that you grew up in until you can become an adult and find your
Exactly.
own path.
Yes. So your
Yeah.
voice, the voice, the throat chakra is definitely one of those chakras that are clogged in a lot of ways, have a lot of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
because we have to shrink our voice, which is connected to our identity and our essence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly how it all started for me then, was, all these little moments of really, okay, do you have the strength to be you and speak what would not be received, as a part of the norm? And I think I just kept pushing through it. And then In my early 20s, I took a Reiki class, and that's when all of the energy started shifting, where I could clear and heal these energetic programmings. And in psychology or hypnosis, we would really refer to it in the way of subconscious thoughts.
Yes.
And as an energy therapist, I see it as energy forming in the energetic body. So, any aspect of the energetic body. And the Reiki really helped me to clear and let go. And it helped me to find my true light, like who I was, kind of what was getting overshadowed or deposited with all these other thoughts of other people and the programming of who I should be. And when we do the energy work, when we're working with energy therapy, it's all about the chakras as well. So when you're talking about the throat chakra, absolutely. And my solar plexus and my sacral chakra, which is your inner drive and your personal power. And so lighting up my energy centers really helped me step into my personal power, and it helped me to understand my purpose more because I could feel it within. And I didn't have a clear path laid out, a whole spreadsheet with steps,
Yeah.
but you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your gut, and that's your passion. Like that's the purpose, that you just feel it. And for me, my way is every day I intuitively feel into what energy am I in today? What vibration do I want to continue, flowing with? So I'm holding that frequency. And when
Hmm.
choices come up, what one am I most passionate about? What one feels the best?
Yeah.
And it's been quite an enjoyable ride. And looking back, amazing to see how all of these decisions and all of this following my heart, where it's led me. I would never have been able to really think that that could bring me here.
Yeah,
And
doing
it's,
what you love. Oh, and you mentioning the heart, and it's like that inner compass, that inner
yes.
GPS system. So when you start to trust that or build the relationship and the connection, and then you start to play with it and practice and flex and experiment with it, you really start to see it's a real thing.
Oh, absolutely. And wow, it just brought a thought to me when you're talking about these opportunities to play with it.
Yeah,
The the moments that can feel really challenging in life, that are really contrasting, they are these catalyst moments that push us forward if we choose to. If we choose to answer the call of our heart and, okay, I can feel something that's not my truth. So what is my truth? It helps us to discover ourselves more. And we have these little moments, and they start out small, and
yeah,
then they can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just a part of inner development and that maturing. But every time that you find the light within and your passion, it's like you can't really go astray, It might not
yeah,
look right on paper. Some people can have a judgment about your path or your choice, but in your heart, well, this is how I need to get to that space that you would say would fulfill my destiny, or this is the pathway of my life purpose. And
true.
you know that deep within.
Yeah, and that's a really powerful word, is like knowing, the knowingness. I know the top chakra, the crown chakra, which is connected to the pineal, is the short of it is the I know. How would you say that relationship with knowing and maybe in a few words, building the relationship and trust with the knowing self, because there are the two
Yeah.
sides, the doubter and the knower. And so, what was that like for you, reconciling the two?
Right. Wow, this can go deep, and I'm so excited. So your crown chakra is the clear gift of claircognizant, which is a direct knowing. You have the truth, it's information, it's knowledge. Your heart chakra is clairsentience, where you feel a knowing, like you just know in your heart, right? And then your gut and your solar plexus also, you can work with these different clairsenses. So sometimes you'll say, "Oh, I'm this gut instinct." And so, as you have these experiences, you start to understand what way are you receiving messages and information, and your intuition is strengthening. And I feel like we can use all of them. So, that was a part of my experience, like I would feel something was off at my heart, or my throat would feel like it would shut down and close. And I'm like, that can't be healthy. That's not right. Something's
Yeah,
wrong here. So,
yeah.
whenever you feel your energy shift in a way that isn't your natural resting space or your truth, something's not quite right. So you pivot and you say, well, if that's not accurate, then what is? And you flow into that. And I had a lot of
Hmm.
experiences like that. And so the knowing also is okay, I'm going to trust this. I'm going to play with it. I'm going to see what happens and just be curious. And then you'll see the result. And that's why I said it starts off with like little miniature things, like maybe a conversation or a little tiff with a friend. And then later it can build up to more important things like a career change or a move. But you start to understand how you're receiving information from God and your own intuition and your guides,
Mhm.
really reading the energy of the moment. And so, it was playfully just being open, knowing and trusting that, okay, this, it's all going to work out, but let's see how we can move and maneuver through this experience. And then you start to understand yourself a little bit deeper once you see the results. So, practice makes perfect in a way.
Yeah, true.
Practice, try, start
Yes.
working with your intuition and see really how it supports you. And if you
Hmm.
have a time where you're like, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have made that choice because look how it turned out. Well, now you're just stronger and more aware for the next time.
Yes.
So, it's all good.
Earlier when you were mentioning intuition, and that is our direct connection to God, creator, source, universal energy, whatever God you want to name, that the God that is unconditionally loving us and supporting and comforting us and guiding us. So as you start to listen to your intuition and play with it and trust it, you're inadvertently building faith, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, exactly. I love how you share that. Yes, you're building your faith and you're starting to feel what it feels like when you are in alignment or when you're supported and clicked in, when you're in communication and you can feel that light around you. And
Hmm.
that helps you. It's so supportive.
And
Absolutely.
And now what's so beautiful is there are instruments and technology that we have available to us now that actually measure the subtle bodies, which is what Eastern medicine talked about, right? Which we'll touch
Right.
on Reiki here because I wanted you to give just like a mini definition of Reiki, which I feel it touches on Yeshua, Jesus, when he talks about you can do what I do in all things and greater things, or, I know I'm messing up the scripture, but, he was like,
Yes.
guys, here's the map. So Reiki, it describe what that is.
Yeah, so Reiki is a form of energy therapy, and it comes from Japan. And so, but once you start using Reiki, you can find that you open up to other aspects of energy therapy, which, if you want to flow to Jesus and religion, to me, it's like a blessing. It's beyond just a prayer because you're letting the light of God flow through or the universal life force energy, just pure energy flow through, and it can heal the energetic field, which you mentioned, then supports mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. It's all connected. And there's an anatomy of the energetic body, and this frequency can come in and help it to heal and to clear and to reset. Also, it can support the physical body. So if you feel just depleted and undercharged, and if you're going through an ailment, so maybe you have a chronic health condition, it can really support to bring in more life force energy. And
Mm-hmm.
Reiki is a form of hands-on healing, so where you touch or you are in the energy field with your hands and the light comes out your hands and heart. And also, like a prayer, you can use remote work. So you can be across the world and have a Reiki session or, any energy therapy session. But Reiki is a beautiful place to start. It really lays it out in a very understandable path and a training. Hmm.
I feel like more people are becoming aware of it. And there's about 800, maybe more hospitals that have now incorporated Reiki practitioners like into their hospitals and their clinics. And it's helping, they're noticing that the data, is
Yeah.
coming back where patients that post heart surgery that have some Reiki done, they tend to have better results, in terms of how quickly they heal. It's really intelligent of us to have self-care practices. So what is it that you do, because you are giving so much of yourself, being that you're holding space for people all the time? So what are some of those things that you do to honor thyself in that way?
Hmm. Well, I really need to take a lot of alone time, honestly. Like, because I do work with a lot of people navigating quite a bit of emotions and energies. So that alone time helps me to decompress and to realign my energy and recharge, the mental space. Like if I'm thinking about things or if it was emotional, maybe help me recharge the emotional body. So definite alone time. And then I also go see my own healer. So when I need, a recharge or have questions about things going on in my life, because you can sometimes it's like there's a lot happening actually right now, as we all understand, a lot happening in the collective and in our own lives. And so sometimes it's like, man, am I seeing things accurately? I really feel like I might be, but what am I missing? Let me go see my healer and talk it through and have them look at the energy and see maybe there's a blind spot for me. That's what I do, in eating and meditating and sleeping the healthy lifestyle. But honestly, just the way that I am, because I'm so sensitive to energy, I need quite a bit of alone time to decompress. So I make sure I schedule that in.
It's true. It's that because there's sensory overload and we're always so stimulated, it's in the stillness and being quiet and kind of caving yourself, like cocooning is really important. So extreme isolation, not good. Extreme socialization, not good. You want that, I call it that Goldilocks middle. Thank you for all that you've done to be who you are. And as we start to wrap this up, what what last words would you like to share with our viewers, and also let them know, how they can connect with you?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm just feeling that there's a strong significance around the aspects of hope and peace. And to know that, okay, maybe we had a day, maybe we had a moment, but if you can find that still, quiet space where you can go within and just take some breaths, just put your hand on your heart, on your abdomen, and breathe for a few moments, a few deep breaths, that can reset so much. It can reset your pH and, it helps your physical body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your emotional body. And it's almost just this little, well, it is this little aspect of self care. And so the more you do that, when you find like, oh, I just need a moment. I need a moment. If you're a parent, sometimes I used to say, I'm gonna put mama in timeout. Like I need the timeout. I need the
Yes,
break.
that's
I need a moment.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you start to train your body to handle things a little bit differently. So it becomes more of a subconscious or automatic approach where your system doesn't feel overwhelmed and triggered by everything that's happening. So there's this aspect of hope and peace. So you find the peace, you create the space to recognize and allow peace. And then
Mhm.
in that moment, you can breathe and reset and say, okay, I have hope, I have faith, ask for guidance or follow your heart and in the intuition there and flow forward. It's we're moving forward. We might feel that things are heavy and can pull us down or keep us stuck, but no, we're all flowing forward. We're all working through things. And there's a definite reason that we're here. And there's a reason that these moments come up for us. So when you look at it from a space of empowerment and you look at it from a space of, wow, there's some deep level wisdom in this moment, this experience, you really
Mhm.
do reset your reality and kind of just become like that master of your universe. You
Yeah,
become
yeah.
that, that aspect of the God energy that's there with wisdom and grace and beauty, and you feel like you can handle it, you can take it on. It's okay. You're going to be fine, and you're going to be able to be a light for others and help support them and let them get through things. So right now is just a trying time, but you
Mhm.
have all the tools and you keep receiving more information. Look for it, ask for it, and see what comes through to support you.
Yes, it could not have been said any better. Now, I know that I mentioned earlier that you're an author. You have taken the time to put some really beautiful books together. So let them know a little bit about that. And
Okay.
of course, any sites or social media pages you'd like to lead them to.
Okay, so this is one of my first books, Activating the Starseed, and it's a spiritually centered book about the soul and energy prior to being in the human body, and then what we do as we're here living our life. And it's available now. I just released it on Audible, so that's kind of exciting. I had that request for quite some time, and it's available on Audible, so you can find it on audiobooks. And then my latest book is called The Ultimate Guide to Channeling, which is part of a series. And so it's a full color book with a lot of beautiful artwork. And it's all about connecting to any form of spirit that you want for support and love and guidance. So your oversoul or your soul, your higher self, God, your angels, your spirit guides, and it walks you through processes, steps to get clear, grounded, centered, so you can receive the messages, and it helps you enhance your intuition. We talk a lot about intuition.
Mm.
And so that's available anywhere books are sold. So online, or you can get it at your favorite bookshop, your local bookshop. And my website is my name, amysikarskie.com. I have an online school, which is spiritschoolonline.com, and I have courses. The Reiki classes are there, classes on chakras. There'll be a future class on crystals. And there's also a lot of free guided meditations to help you work with your energy, clear, center, release, and reset. And my strongest presence for where I'm at most often is on Instagram. You can find me on other social media sites, but I'm on Instagram, Amy Sikarskie, and I also run Raise the Vibe Tribe. So that one gets a little sassy, so it might not be for everybody, but
I love it that you're letting the sassy side of yourself come out. That's great.
yeah, sometimes let that voice be heard and have little boundaries and fun. But Raise the Vibe Tribe is a community-based page for everyone, and we just post, like my friend and I post on there, a lot of positive messages to help us get through those challenging moments. Oh, and I have a new podcast, so it's my latest project. It's the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. You can find it anywhere that podcasts are streaming or on my website. And I do put select videos up on YouTube. So if you want to watch, the ones that are interactive, you can pop on over to YouTube. It's all about helping you connect with your light and work through some of the aspects where spirituality and soul healing will benefit you.
Absolutely. So much of what you've touched on really has to do with resilience. And anytime we can do anything to really help build our resilience from the inside out is going to benefit us and everybody else around us in so many ways. We need to be courageous now more than ever, and especially to do the healing work. It's not a pretty process, but the end result is totally worth it. And you totally deserve that inner peace. So I highly recommend you connect with Amy, even if it's just to get some inspiration. And like she said, she also does healing work at a distance, and she's done that with me, and I had amazing results. So Amy, thank you so much for spending your time with us today and sharing your beautiful wisdom. I want to wish you continued success and blessings on all of your endeavors.
Thank you. It's been a gift. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you everyone for supporting the mindfulness movement here at Rise Above TV. Your likes, shares, and follows are greatly appreciated because they help spread the love. Subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels for more mindful content. Be sure to tune in next week to meet another individual who's tapped into their power, passion, and purpose. Till next time, peace be in us.